So let's meet mobility. It's show number 56 on the 16th of September 2010. And guys, we're live in San Francisco at the Intel AppUp Elements event. Loads of stuff going on behind us. There's actually 200 people eating food behind us.
Yep.
So if the bread rolls start coming in, you know what's gone wrong. JKK's with me, Sasha's with me. I don't need to introduce them. So let's get into talking about the last 5 days, which have been IDF and Intel AppUp Elements. Starting off with IDF. Let's quickly go over a couple of things. You know, this is an Intel sponsored podcast, by the way, but we're not that easy. We're going to go over a couple of things that didn't happen at IDF first.
Right. We were missing
and I think that's important to mention those because they were significant by their absence. Two things come to my mind. No real news about Moorestown and smartphones.
Not at all.
Nothing, really. Nothing.
Why do you think that might be the case? Do you think they're trying to hide a slip of a timescale here?
Actually, I think that's the only strategy they can do right now, because I would not expect any kind of Moorestown device in the market before summer next year. Yeah. So if you're showing new devices again, people are starting to ask, okay, when is it coming out? Hey, we can't match our time schedule. So I think in general, they should have kind of hide the whole Moorestown thing until it's ready. It's very, very hard in these days to keep up a momentum, especially then over a year or 1.5 years. So good luck with that. I was expecting some Moorestown tablets. That was my prediction for IDF, but somehow
we saw one prototype tablet, but it was really hiding on a corner. So
we could talk a little bit more about that. Yeah. You know, and we can also talk about the things that allowed them to hide the fact that there was no Moorestown news, and there's a few things that hid the news well, or lack of news. But it wasn't only phone. I was expecting some netbook news, so next generation platform, at least some hints and tips about what's going to go on, when that's going to come in, when it's going to feed in. I know we've just had the dual core stuff come in, but wouldn't it have been nice to have a little bit of, you know, a few tidbits, a little sneak peek of what's coming up?
I think the problem is, we already had the IFA show in Berlin last week, so we saw all these new dual-core netbooks that were coming out. Everything was kind of predictable. I mean, Intel announced it a couple of months ago. Dual-core is coming to the netbook form factor. So, again, it was predictable. We saw a couple of cool designs. Let's say there were 4 or 5 netbooks with dual-core. Actually, you're using one of them. Intel lent us some of these Acer Spire 1D 255, and I think I can say that I'm pretty happy with it.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty happy with the performance after we got rid of all the bloatware on it. Because 71 processors on a netbook when you're starting it up for the first time, that's just not right.
That sucks.
Netbook form factor, it's around. The netbooks have been all over the place, but there's nothing new at all.
Yeah, but I was expecting to see Oak Trail on some really slim design, something like that. We didn't see anything.
No. So the two new the existing platforms are still there today, as they were last year. There's no change. Menlo is still there for Ultra Mobile. Pine Trail is still there for netbooks.
Yeah.
Nothing new coming up. So let's.
Well, we had a new Atom CPU getting announced for the embedded market.
We had the EC, which is Tunnel Creek. Which is for the embedded market. Interesting to look at that. It kind of gives you hints and tips about Moorestown as well, because it's the same kind of architecture. But that was really for the embedded market.
Again, it makes no sense for Intel to show off something that might going to happen in 12 months. So what shall we expect from the netbook form factor right now? We're getting dual core, and they're delivering right now. So the dual core netbooks are getting shipped to the users in about a month.
Yeah.
And that's it. So that's a big step from a single core platform now to a dual core, and it's going to change the world the way we're going to use netbooks.
Yeah. Netbooks won't be netbooks anymore.
No,
they will be netbooks with dual core.
Yeah.
That's it.
Dual core netbooks.
All right, let's move on to the news that kind of covered up the lack of news from Moorestown and the netbook area. And I mean, to me, it was all about Intel adding value on top of their platforms. And in terms of mobility and Atom, it was about software, services, solutions.
Yeah.
And that's where MeeGo and AppUp come in. And of course, the day two keynote from Renee James, full of a lot of stuff. I was live blogging that. I couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare. Loads of stuff from let's just go through what happened then. We had talk about mainly around AppUp and new partners.
Right.
Yeah. from the content area, from the distribution area. So from the content area, we had
Sega, Barnes and Noble.
Yes. These were two big ones which kind of raised our eyes. Right?
Unity, which is a fantastic, for game developers out there, fantastic engine. And it's used on so many 3D games in these days. So they will have a specific SDK for the Intel Atom platform.
Yep.
That's big news for a developer.
It's really big news, yeah. There was also a lot of game developers, or developers that came on stage to talk about their experience.
Yeah.
Basically a parade of support around AppUp, which is kind of what they needed, right?
Well, actually, AppUp became final. I think we should mention that.
Well,
after 9 months in public beta, we went final right now, or gold, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And in next months, we will see the first devices. So it means Samsung is going to ship their netbook with a pre-installed Intel AppUp Center, and so does ASUS.
Yeah.
So that's going to change the whole market significantly. I'm pretty sure about that, because now the user will get in contact with the AppUp Center. They will get the idea what it's all about. It's not about programs, but apps are actually programs, right?
Yeah. And Best Buy coming along. So
Best Buy, a great distribution channel.
In the UK.
Dixon's Curry is PC World in the UK. Yeah. Best Buy. There was the Indian distribution arm. Krona.
Yeah, something like that.
Never heard of them. Sorry, India.
AppUp is bigger than it looks a week ago. Really, it is.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah. A week ago, it would have been difficult to kind of sell it to a dev right now, but right now, with the stuff that's happening, we've seen a whole load of clear financial support, big budget support for AppUp that just kind of tells us this is not a short-term project. This is something that they want to do really big. What about Adobe Air? Runtime support?
Absolutely.
For Adobe Air?
Absolutely. That's going to change the way, what kind of apps we're going to see in AppUp Center.
Yeah, and actually they are sneaking in quite nicely, because if you do something for Air, they just have a radio button there that submit to AppUp 2.
Yeah.
So you are like thinking, oh, you're gonna go there. Oh.
So the only thing these guys have to do, and we spoke to a couple yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah.
The only thing they're having to do is just look at the screen sizes, make sure everything fits.
Yeah.
Bang! They've published their app down to AppUp Element.
Street Deck.
AppUp, sorry.
Street Deck was one of the first ones to.
TweetDeck?
TweetDeck, yeah.
I don't know about.
I think
we hear there's now 800 apps in the AppUp store, and really it's day one for AppUp. That's going to grow so quickly. Tell the people what we heard from developers about how long it took to get apps into.
Basically, we have been interviewing the developers here. You will see the videos later. We will upload them. So they were talking about a number of days only to port app. To support App Store, AppUp Store, and also to Mego. So like a 1 week project totally to bring the app to AppUp Store, but then 2 additional days to get it to run on Mego.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe even too easy. And
yeah, they were saying it's almost like a no risk opportunity for them.
We asked why you want to put to AppUp. They say, why not? No risk, no investment, nothing.
So all these apps that are sitting out there in Adobe Air land, they're in Windows Mobile land, these guys are basically saying, right, let's get those over straight away.
And porting from iPhone. And that was, Intel was really, really loudly saying, port your app from iPhone to AppUp. So
and that's what we saw. We saw this Goals, which was actually an iPhone game. And they ported it over to a netbook in a couple of weeks. Well, not only a couple of weeks, I think generally in a couple of days.
So we'll clearly get a big rush of ported software which should be enough to like stimulate the whole system, and then developers will start seeing the opportunities.
Exactly, before we finally see some real apps for the netbook form factor. This is going to be interesting.
It's going to be really, really interesting. We could talk a little bit more about that later. Let's mention some products we saw, some gadgets we saw at IDF.
My favorite?
What's your favorite?
UMPC. We saw one UMPC there. So Cosmos had a cool slider targeted as a gaming device, but I could see myself using it. It's a nice thumb keyboard and.
It was interesting to see because this was on Oak Trail, Windows 7 on Oak Trail.
Yeah.
One of the devs was telling me, Oak Trail, because of the graphics, is 2 times the clock of Menlo, so twice the power of graphics. It was super thin.
Yeah. Nice design. It was prototype, but it felt like a finished product already.
Yeah.
So.
Like a finished product?
No.
Or finished?
No, finished.
No, great slider, great keyboard. The build quality was great. I was very impressed. I've never seen.
keys?
Yeah. I mean, we've been only seeing these 2 running ones behind these boxes, right? While this non-working mock-up was lying around there.
No, actually, we played the real one. So
you did?
Yeah.
Sorry, mate, you're too late.
We have professional handles.
Maybe it's because you broke it.
That's why these devices weren't working
So
anymore.
that gave us an idea about Oak Trail.
Yeah.
But no, that was the only device we saw on Oak Trail.
Oh, there was one tablet, that green something.
Evergreen?
Maybe Evergreen. It was a reference design from
Greenvale.
Greenvale reference design. So I had it on video too. Quite slim. Quite okay. 10-inch Windows 7.
A lot slimmer than the devices that are being built on N series.
Yes,
I didn't actually
a
play
lot.
with it.
Yeah, maybe let's say 15mm thickness with really rounded, nice.
Right.
Like I liked it.
And it was running Windows 7,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Which is a theme that went across the other tablets that were shown. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was all Windows 7 on N series.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like everyone's looking to get a tablet into the space, but the only platform they have to do it right now with is N series Atom.
Yeah. I mean, we see.
Wouldn't it be better for them to wait?
No, they want to be there now. Well, hey, XOPC and VTab,
VTab.
they were there and they're ready, shipping next week for the VTab, and why not? They were saying 4-hour, 5-hour battery life.
I agree. They will.
Yeah.
And they will be unique in this market with 11.6 inch. It's a kind of couch surfing tablet, especially the XOPC was by far the fastest Windows 7 tablet I ever had in my hands. Yeah. So they got a really fast SSD in there, 2 GB of RAM, a lot of tweaking with the drivers, great display, very impressive to see that, and I think it's going to be successful.
Yeah. What about Jojo? We saw
Juju.
I had the Juju in my hand. Yeah. Congratulations, Michael Arrington, to get out of this. I think you just made the right decision. Enough said.
I actually dropped it, so and I didn't even pick it up.
I'm sorry to say that. Well, they were too late on the market. It is too huge. It is. I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Then just get a browser on the tablet and that's it. Yeah. But even the GUI, I'm sorry.
No.
It was slow. The accelerometer was goddamn slow in there, and.
What about the XOPC versus the VTab? Those two are built on the same hardware platforms.
Pretty much, yeah. Just the only differences are different SSDs, different memory. I think the XOPC is using 2 GB of RAM. I'm not sure about their display panel right now. They should be the same, because normally Pegatron will just deliver you this. But if I need to compare them, and if they need to compete against each other, the VTab would have one big advantage, especially for the German market. They made some great contracts with publishers, and so they would have magazines on there. They are pretty good with the content back end.
Yeah.
This is something that the XOPC can't provide you right now. But the XOPC is a Windows 7 tablet.
Yeah.
And never underestimate how many Windows 7 users or Windows users are out there. So it can seamlessly getting integrated into your Windows environment that you already have at home. And this is an argument to buy it.
Yeah, so VTab runs Migo, and what I heard, you can't install Windows on it. They restricted that. So
well, let's just say they've written their own
BIOS. It must be a BIOS thing.
Yeah. They've written their own BIOS,
okay.
But they're not expecting that to stay secure for long.
Yeah. But anyway, it's
like
not meant as a device which you can then install on Windows 7. So if you want Windows 7, go with XOPC. If you're good with a really hyped up custom UI, then VTab.
Yeah. What about one more device before we come to the twisty, turvy, netbooky, tablety thing? The Net 1. It was a 10-inch tablet built on Morristown. It was running Android, right?
Yeah.
Capacitive touch, super light, significantly lighter than all the other 10-inch tablets there. Wow, this is why I asked, like,
Rub it
Wouldn't it
in.
be
I
better-
haven't seen it.
Wouldn't it be
Oh, sorry. So we played it. We played with it.
Another one you missed.
And it was so light. It's 10-inch screen, but it felt like.
Yeah, it felt like it
Nothing.
was
A
not
toy,
really,
yeah.
really real.
But it was real.
So that's why I'm a bit worried. Like all these guys are making the tablets on the N series platform. They have to be a little bit thicker to have the bigger battery and the thermals to get the thermals right. And they may be able to swap out for Oak Trail next year, but they'll still have that same ID, and they need to
Actually,
think about that.
even getting N550 in a tablet right now would, in my opinion, be a huge advantage over getting the N450 in there. It would help you performance-wise, right? And the thermal design, that's not a big issue going from N450 to N550. I mean, we've been checking it out with the performance monitor on your Acer Aspire 1 that is just getting watered by you. So there was not a huge difference.
Maybe an N550 tablet might be successful. What sort of N550 tablet?
Yeah, we are talking about something that swivels and turns and.
Is it a tablet?
No, it's a convertible thingy.
It's a thing.
It's an
It's a 10-inch thing.
Yeah.
So we were talking about the Dell Inspire Enduro, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Code name.
that we
Stingray? What was the code name?
Sparta.
Sparta. Oh
So that
my
was
God.
interesting in the keynote. No one was expecting that, right? Dell walks on. JKK standing next to me goes, he's got a tablet. Oh no, it's the Wii tab.
I've been blogging it.
Oh, it's big. Oh,
Yeah.
that's huge frames. What it is?
Zooming in with the camera.
Maybe on a video I uploaded, maybe you can hear us talking something in the background. Oh no, it's so big.
It was pretty big, but I mean, he did some demonstrations on it, UI and stuff.
Yeah. And all of a sudden was this keyboard.
And then flip, and I didn't actually see him flip it out. Oh, I looked down and I looked up, and it was a netbook.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, how the hell did he do that?
Yeah, I tried to show my hands to Steve how it works.
Yeah.
That's how it
And at
works.
the same time, there was a kind of a ooh from the crowd,
Yeah.
from the audience. So
I think Ross of Engadget shot a fantastic picture of it when he's holding it like this, and you can see the swivel thing.
Yeah.
So
You have some reservations though about the design, right?
Huge frames, yeah. I think it will be heavy, but we should actually, we might have it on our hands in
an hour.
Well, we were going to try and get it here on the table, weren't we?
So we will then tell you if it's heavy or not, if it's ugly or not
so
in
maybe
real life. But big frames, which I don't like, I just hate big frames. But it might be cool, it might be not. But we will see it soon.
We'll see.
Windows
At
7
least
dual
it's something
core
completely different, which is always good. Get some innovation into the market, inspire other product designers, show something new.
Yeah. And actually, it was dual core, so.
Yeah, and actually Dell did this right now for quite a while, right? They also had this crazy XPS notebook.
Yeah.
Right, a couple of, or like say a year ago, that already had this crazy mechanism.
The only problem
keyboard was
now
sliding
is that
out, so
Dell would
they're
have
doing
locked
something.
up that design in a patent, so no one else will be able to use it. So that's the only bad thing about it. But anyway,
We'll see.
So that's that Dell Duo, the tablet,
Duo,
and that was really pretty much it for products, right?
Yeah.
Anything else you can think of?
Oh,
What
no.
about
tablet netbooks, one UMPC.
OpenPeak?
OpenPeak tablet, yeah, it's actually going out to AT&T in January.
Right.
So that's a finalized product. Morristown Android.
Morristown Amigo, isn't it?
No, Android. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I unboxed it. Yeah, I did the unboxing. If you didn't watch my unboxing of OpenPeak, which will be, I find the box on the table.
It's not under the OpenPeak brand, though. Who's
AT&T.
Okay. Well, there was another name I forgot. Anyway,
Yeah,
all right.
but it will be on AT&T as an AT&T tablet. They are trying to actually sell it as a tablet, not as a home appliance.
Yeah.
So 3G on board and so on. So
Guys, I don't know.
yeah.
We need to
one more
quickly-
thing. Yeah, let's come over to the App Store and to the AppUp event, because
That's the Elements event. Let's
this
talk
would be a
quickly about
fantastic transition to it, because we saw the AppUp Center for tablets on the Wii Tab.
Yeah.
So let's get over to the AppUp Elements show.
So
immediately.
Elements Show has been running here yesterday and today. It's a special event tacked onto the end of IDF to bring developers into, well, basically to teach developers what's going on with AppUp. And like we mentioned before, there's some clear financial support here. We went to a huge event last night, which was very impressive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And a lot of fun. And thanks Intel for putting our podcast on the day after.
Yeah.
and the week after IDF and this event last night.
9 o'clock in the morning we were talking about netbooks on a panel.
Fantastic.
Shrimp,
Between
beer
the last
and
one.
bumper cars
Yep.
don't go together very
Will
well.
Wheaton was over there for all your Star Trek Next Generation friends. You know, you can look him up. Really,
But it
great
was a good
geek.
event. The fireside chat I thought was very open.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
Talking to the developers, like they weren't scared to have the hard questions.
Yeah.
They weren't scared to say no or sorry or we can't do that.
This is something that I wish other developer conferences would also take over, no matter if it's from Apple, no matter if it's from Microsoft or whatever.
And
So
compare
they really got
Intel
that in.
5 years before Intel and now.
Oh yeah,
It's
that's a different story.
Right.
it's
Let-
totally
let-
different.
let-
It
let's
was
talk-
open there.
Let's talk
really.
about products again.
Yeah?
The event was cool. Our podcast is getting sponsored by Intel, by the way, just to let you know.
yeah.
This.
This is a special.
This is a special.
So anyway, Elements. Let's just do a quick roundup of what we've learned from Elements. We've spoken to a number of developers. I mentioned a little bit about that earlier. What do you think the message coming out from Elements to the developers is? And what do you think the message coming from developers back to Intel is?
There's a lack of education still at the developer community, just to know what's going on with the AppUp Center.
Right.
Just to know what kind of device and what kind of markets they are addressing. That was the biggest problem. Everybody is just thinking in this netbook bubble right now, or in this tablet bubble. We will also have like MIDs, or of course smartphones in the future. And we will have devices like TVs. I mean, we saw it here, all this smart TV and Google TV. Right?
I think some of the developers are actually surprised at the potential opportunities over the next few years.
Yeah.
They're looking at netbooks
That's
now,
the
which is
feedback we got,
right.
yeah.
10-inch screen is right to look at now, but they're kind of surprised that, this is going into cars, TVs, into smartphones.
And in general, Mego, and that's one thing they wanted to know. What about timescale when we see the Mego devices?
Yeah,
So if I was a developer now and judging by the other devs here saying that it's easy to go to Mego, I would say go there, because there might be suddenly be devices, then there's no warning.
Especially moving towards the end of the year, That could be interesting. The devs were telling us, as we said earlier, it's easy to port, but maybe there's no business case to make a specific application, a deep, good application for netbooks right now. Yeah, it's early days, so I think we're going to see all the side porting.
Yeah, well,
This will take a while.
Well, there was one thing I actually find really nice. I just heard that there's guys doing the security suit, virus software for netbook.
Bullguard.
And I hate those. Like it's typical. They're eating out our battery life, CPU, and everything. And these guys are saying that there is designed for netbook, and
Think we will bring it to a test.
We will bring it to a test, and if they lie, oh man.
Yeah.
So it looks good in that
definitely.
sense. But killer app, what's that? Social media, video stuff, YouTube. We saw some cool YouTube stuff from Fugo.
Definitely.
I don't know yet, but I think entertainment, consumer gaming, light arcade gaming, and so on is the key.
Actually,
here,
we're just starting right now.
Yeah, of course, of course.
You know, these apps and these programs and solutions and whatever will come in, and we won't see specific netbook tailored or focused applications before next year.
Yeah, well,
right? Maybe before
the
summer.
guys did that budgeting software. That was like totally tailored to netbook, and
Right, but it was an air app. It was an airport,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, true. So,
Airport. Oh, that's funny. The other thing I picked up is that developers want local gatherings, local reach out sessions.
Yes.
Not everyone can afford to come to San Francisco and pay hundreds of dollars to go
Makes
to
sense.
Elements.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that Intel is thinking about
But
this.
I think, I mean, we did one in Germany, in Berlin a couple of weeks ago. That needs to happen around the world. And there's Mego teams out there. There's Mego groups, user groups out there in each city. So I mean, Mego user groups, if you're, I don't know, maybe you should kind of contact Intel, the AppUp people, to try and get information from AppUp into your Mego user groups. That would be a good way to expand the reach out groups. But maybe something Intel needs to.
Mego Summit is coming up in November in Dublin. You guys will be there, right? Nicole is going from netbooknews.com.
Yeah.
So we'll see
guys.
what's going on.
You know what's going to happen in 15 minutes? We're going to get potential Dell hands-on So
we will be thinking.
We should really wrap up, and
we have to quit, and then we will see more developers, and then
party.
We have to do a roundup video just to talk about this before we get in the booth, and so you should expect more from us in the next couple of days.
Yeah,
right. Talking
Let's
about
say
RDF.
Thanks to Intel.
Thank you, Intel.
Sponsoring the
Which
podcast,
camera?
setting all this up here. We were hoping we were going to do a live P out to all these people eating food, but maybe that's a good thing we didn't do that.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a quick one. Usually we do an hour, but only 30 minutes today. And I think we've got just one more thing to say after 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thank
you.
Bye.
Bye.